Hey YouTube, welcome back to the Open Alliance. And what are we doing today's video, Jacob?
Reviewing Season 2 of One of Us is Lying, and shall be interesting.
Yep, so if you want to find out what we thought about the show, stick around. So, summarising One of Us is Lying. So this is the second season of the show. The first season we have reviewed and you can find on the channel, and got pretty good ratings. I thought it was pretty good.
It was good.
And so let's summarise what happens in Season 2. So we're left with the aftermath of, we found the killer in the first season. He wanted to kill the people that found it out, and then they shot him in self-defense, and then they've hidden the body. So we're left with them now trying to deal with the fact that this body's missing. They've convinced the family that he has gone off to Mexico, and that's it. He's a murderer, just leave it at that. But, you know, the police want more, the families want more, and particularly the students at the school want more. They don't buy that he's just left. And we follow on with that, and we get given a series of mysteries and murders and things that continue on this storyline. So what are some of the things that happen in this season?
Basically, we are led by Vanessa, who is this Instagram or TikTok person who is saying, Murder Club did it and all of these things. And she's trying to get famous off it. And then also the Murder Club are being harassed by Simon Says, who is kind of, I guess, trying to get them to do things that are not really shows they're doing things.
Yeah, so in Season 1, we had Simon Says. So the person that died in Season 1, he was Simon Says, and he had a blog that he wrote about people. Someone then impersonated him and kind of led the main characters on by getting them to do dares and different things. And then this season does the same, but the person who was Simon Says in the first season is no longer Simon Says. They don't know who it is in this one, so they've got to work it out. They get asked to do things like steal money, make out with someone in the cafeteria, destroy someone's car, and, you know, some of it's quite okay, and you buy it, and then eventually someone just gets murdered. So they think they know who Simon Says is, but then that person gets murdered. Then it comes, well, it's a bit more than a game now. This person that's following us is actually going to kill someone. And then it continues on, and they start to work out the mystery of eventually who it is. The person reveals who they are. They have a final battle scene on a boat. Police rock up in the nick of time. That person goes to prison. And then we're left with a massive cliffhanger, which we won't give away, which then leads on to another season, which it's crazy to think that they keep dragging on this storyline from, you know, something that had a really good storyline in the first season to now let's just keep it going. Anything I missed from there without giving away too much?
I'm curious to know, is there even a third book? Because the first book was good, the second book not, so we'll see.
We could look that up. After we give our review, I'll give my opinion of what I hope happens next. So let's move into giving it a verdict. Well, you want to go first? What was your score and why?
Okay, 56% out of 100. I just found this season in particular just lack so much compared to Season 1. The mystery was basically the same as Season 1. They don't give any evidence or any signs of who the killer is, what is smart, but they did the exact same thing in Season 1, and I just didn't find myself enjoying this season. I found it quite boring. I actually liked the characters in Season 1, but the more I found watching them, I just found the characters, I don't know, annoying, or I don't know what changed. And the whole new Simon Says, the whole games thing, it just didn't work without the Simon character. New Simon Says, I don't know, I just feel like the writers just write things whatever the writing team wants to make up so the characters suit their writing motives, and I just found myself really bored and think this season is a complete waste of time compared to Season 1, where it's very coincidental, like with Truth Be Told, and very shame, and hope there's not a Season 3, because yet with season 1, season 2 ends on a cliffhanger, and I don't understand why they feel like they need to end with cliffhangers. Yeah.
So I'm in total agreement with Jacob. I actually gave it even lower. I went with 39%, which I think is the lowest I've given a show so far. I think it's really poor writing. It's tried to drag out a mystery. I think season 1 was very, very good, and if they changed the ending and then ended it just with one season, I think it would have been a great limited series. But now dragging it on, it just becomes poor. You know, we're adding in storylines that don't need to be there, murders that don't need to be there, and then now a cliffhanger at the end of this season that drags it on. I've really had enough of it. I don't buy that, you know, the original story of this plotted accidental look like an accident murder, try and frame someone, that's very clever. I buy that. But then someone then wants to make those people punished for what they did, so they keep dragging on. But instead of just going to the police and getting the person arrested, instead they have this plan where I'm going to kill this person. Like, this is a teenager that's decided they want to become a killer. Like, I don't know. I don't live in America, but, you know, it seems a bit odd. Like, is there that many people in schools that want to be killers? So, you know, it's a bit far, you know, and they drag it on. And then to end the season with her dying, and then, you know, now we get another season. I think it's just poor. I really hope there isn't a third season. I don't really care what happens. I found this season a big drag to watch and a mission, actually, which, you know, a show shouldn't feel that way. So in terms of scoring, it didn't do well really for anything. I think the acting was okay. The casting's poor. I think their characters, they're far too old. I think the actors just seem too old to be school kids. You know, they play off, you know, oh, Nate, oh, I'm poor and I'm like tough and I'm just drive this motorcycle and I sell drugs, and he doesn't look like it at all. He doesn't play the part. And they add in the most generic, stereotypical rich Instagrammer influencer girl. And, you know, it's just too stereotypical. I think it's really poor acting, poor casting, poor characters. I don't buy that any of the things that would happen. The twist in the end was okay. You know, it was actually, I didn't pick the killer, so I think that's fine. I think they did well to disguise that. But it's mainly because it just doesn't make any sense. And then now they're trying to add in a story to explain the original season, and it's like they're going backwards to try and make this more epic story.
Like with Truth Be Told.
Yeah, exactly like Truth Be Told. So I don't know why they keep doing it. I think mystery shows, you just can't have multiple seasons. I just don't think it works, or, you know, it's not working currently. So 39% for me. Really hope there's no season 3. If you saw season 1, don't watch season 2. I think just leave it at season 1. That's my opinion.
Very in agreement.
So let's move into some spoilers and some discussions. You want to open it up? You got a question for me or something you want to talk about?
Do you agree with me, and do you think they should have had the murderer be someone else from a different school, so it would have made more sense, have a different motive instead of everything leaking in? Because it feels too perfect. Like, I know it's a TV show, but in life, there's not all people don't always connect that well. Like, sometimes you need someone to be the outsider and just would have been there at the time and gone, oh, I need to make these people pay.
I guess my thought with that is if you pick an outsider, you wonder why they would go to all this effort. So unless it's someone that's intertwined and has a connection to the person being murdered, I don't see why they would care enough. Like, if you were a bystander, just a random from another school, and you saw it, wouldn't you just take the footage to the police? Like, why would you go, I am going to make these people suffer, I'm going to commit murders myself, and I'm going to eventually kill someone? Like, I don't know who would do that without motive. And then they try to give the motive that they were like starstruck lovers that, you know, went to rehab together, and now the whole next season's going to surround why they were in rehab, and it's some big family secret. So I don't think it would have worked what you're suggesting, having someone from a random school, but
don't you think it would have been better instead of everyone linking in together and, you know, she loves him and everything?
Well, I think you'd have to find a way to link it in. If the mystery was, it's just some random person walking past and they saw you and now they're going to frame you, you'd go, you'd question their motive. But there's got to be some kind of link in.
Very true.
But yeah, it's wild. It's really wild. I don't buy that someone would have even have been there and had seen the murder occur.
That's basically why there was a season 2, because she was randomly there.
And that person, she was in season 1 very briefly. Her motives, they're just adding motives after the fact, which I think is poor writing. Yeah, it's very, very odd. What do you think about the Instagrammer character? She was by far the person I found most annoying.
Me too. That's why I hated episode 6, but you said you enjoyed the episode the most.
I weirdly enjoyed it because it was different than all the others. That's because all the others were really, really bad. So this was better because it was different from the other bad. There was 7 other episodes of the same bad. This was something different and bad. So that's why I think I liked it more, but it wasn't good. But yeah, it's just, they just add that character and she's constantly on her phone, putting stuff online and spreading all these rumors and that she's, her conspiracy theories. And I just don't believe it.
And that people believe her?
Yeah, it really frustrated me that this school, they'd been notified that this guy was a murderer, and they're still like, yeah, we want justice for him, though. Like, we want to find out what happened. It's like, dude murdered someone. Just leave it. Shouldn't you be happy he's gone? Let's hope he's in Mexico from what the storyline was they were trying to tell people. But, it's just an odd style of writing.
What was your thoughts about, like I said to you, that they still kept the actor that played Jack, the main character, Ghost Vision?
I'm glad they didn't go with that too much.
No.
Overkill. But yeah, I don't. You get sick of that. I'm happy with flashbacks. I'm cool if they want to keep an actor in the show for flashbacks. But this whole idea of, seeing the person, speaking to them, it's something that's heavily done in movies and shows, but I don't know. In the real world, we'd call that schizophrenia. So I don't know why they portray it so commonly in shows. They did it a lot in 13 Reasons Why. It's just, I don't know. It's not for me. I think there's better ways to try and get someone to feel guilty than this idea of, I'm talking to this person. They're saying, they're going to find out. Like, I'm going to tell people, and I just don't buy it. I think it's a really odd way to try and push a point, or it's been done too many times now. It's like, let's move on.
Did you notice when the gang, when the female that actually did kill him wanted to go to the police, they kept saying, no, we shouldn't. And why wouldn't you just go to the police? Because I felt like the show would have been over, she would have, whatever would have happened to her, and then it would have been more simpler.
I guess I'd like to know what would have happened if they did. Can they plead their case? Hey, it was in self-defense. He's a murderer. He came at us with a gun. What were we to do? Like, they probably could have pleaded self-defense and been fine, but they then went to the point of hiding a body in a freezer and then throwing it in the river or like the ocean. So if they didn't do that, they probably could have claimed self-defense and got away with it. Like, he was a murderer. They already knew he had motives to kill and he'd kill again. So maybe they go, well, what were we to do? He came at me with a gun. I grabbed it. Maybe she serves a small prison sentence, but you wouldn't have a show then, would you?
No.
But even if that's how it finished, the season ends with him being a murderer. She had to kill him out of self-defense. The gang lives on happily ever after, and her punishment is, a bit of jail time. But at least she knows that the truth's out there, and she had to do what she had to do. Like, that's fine. Like, why does it always have to end with them completely getting away? That no one ever knows the truth. That 30 people end up dying over the life of the series, and the main characters get away unscathed, even though they had committed crimes themselves. Like, it's too cliche. They're doing too many shows.
So did you group her with his boyfriend on and off again? Will they, won't they?
Oh, they're trying to pull at people's heartstrings and try and really push
do
this.
Do a Rachel Ross?
Yeah, and trying to push this, push a inclusive LGBTQ plus agenda, which I'm fine. I like that. I think it was cool to have this idea of an openly gay baseball player, and I think that's a cool storyline. But then the boyfriend on and off, they never really seemed to have a reason to fight, but then, they broke up, and then he confesses his love, and then he's like, yeah, it's fine. But ultimately, I think the problem was that there was an age difference. Like Cooper was underage,
Mm.
and the boyfriend wasn't. So I feel like doesn't add up. Like I can see why originally he was angry because he, basically committing pedophilia, but then they kind of blow that off now and it's all fine. I think that's an odd point that probably should have ended their relationship.
So where do you see season 3 going, even if there is a season 3, because it hasn't been renewed yet?
My first prediction is the brother is keen to visit the murderer. She has told him that she knows why Jake went to this rehab, and I think that she dies after that. I think
She does.
I think that's their family, because they have lots of power and money, have organised that to shut her up so that she doesn't reveal whatever family secret that they're hiding, the reason why he went to rehab. So I feel like it's got to be the family. Or if they're trying to lead us in that way and it's something else, I think that's dumb. I don't think, what else could it be? Like, who else would want to kill her? If it's not Murder Club, what is anyone else's motive to get her killed? What could it be? So that's where I think it's going. It probably won't, but it's the only thing that could save it, I think. If we just follow the storyline of them trying to seek revenge and cover up their secrets, and maybe Murder Club and the journalists together uncover their family secrets, like that could be the whole season. That's okay. I could deal with that. It won't be amazing, but it's better than some other random killer that's like, oh well, she blackmailed them, so now I'm gonna kill her, and it goes on, and like another person plays Simon Says, because there really seems no need for Murder Club. Like
No.
And then we've chucked in the extra mystery of someone dying at their graduation. So I don't know where that's going to go.
Where do you feel like season 2 went wrong compared to season 1? Personally, I feel like they copied basically what season 1 did, but did it very poorly. There is a second book, so I guess the second book...
I don't know what it could have done, because to make a season of it, you had to have an ongoing drama. And if Murder Club just dob in themselves or hand in the body, there's no more anything. They continue to try and prove that Jake was the murderer. Like the evidence was very clear on the Xbox. That's all they needed, and eventually the police got that. So it wouldn't have been a season. It would have been one episode. So they had to make up something stupid, and they did. So I think what went wrong was that they made a season 2.
Okay, so they shouldn't have copied the second book, or just gone, we'll just make season 1 and...
The fact that the books exist, that's why they did it. But if I was my advice, I hope that they only wrote the one book.
Because there's 2 books.
Because the second book is, and eventually the second season is just, dragging out a storyline that's not plausible, and, could have actually had a much better ending. But instead they're just drama upon dramas. I don't know what they think happens in high schools over in America, but there's, people, they have crazy hacking abilities. They can, like make people do things. They murder each other, and it's all
better than the police.
Yeah, it's all and then like kids go and do their own investigation. Police can't do anything over there, but the kids can solve mysteries. It happens in too many shows. I'm a bit over it, to be honest.
Did you notice that everyone felt really sorry for Jake, even though he's a killer? Like, that's something that I don't completely understand. People felt more sorry for him than anyone else. Yeah, and it was shown in the first season that he was not a nice guy. People didn't like him at school, but apparently everyone loved him now. Yeah, he's dead. Oh, he's gone missing. We want justice for Jake. Oh, he's a murderer. Oh, that's fine. We still want justice. It's like, I'm over it. I just don't get it. I feel like the person that wrote this was the same person that wrote 50 Shades of Grey. I know it's not, but it's that same kind of low level of writing. Like, I'm not a book writer, but I think the person that wrote this just, grabbed a piece of paper and just drew a couple of squiggles and go, oh, here's a book. Like, none of it makes sense. Like, it's just... Well, season 1 was good.
Ignoring the finish, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you change the finish, it ends. But instead they've...
Oh, man.
As you do, you make it open-ending. So yes. You go, well, you read the first book, it's pretty good, read the second one.
Mm.
And then even if you read the second book and you go, well, that sucked, you go, well, you still paid for it, so thanks for your money. So that's what they're trying to do. You know, where, you know, some good writings, like we look at, you know, the Harry Potter series, for instance, they have so many books, but it's one big overarching story. They just don't give you the ending. Each book isn't like the end of the series, and you go, oh, they've sequel baited us again. It's like, no, it all built to one long thing. And I think if you're going to write sequels or something, it has to build to an end, not just new mystery, new mystery, new mystery. It doesn't work that way.
I feel like the crimes in season 1 and 2 are dumb. I know they're different, but the crime in season 1 was done better because Simon was a genius. And then in season 2, they made it that Jake and the love interests were so intertwined, even though in season 1 we didn't see that at all. So it's like now we get flashbacks. It's like, I just don't buy it.
I agree. It doesn't make any sense. And the first season, I think, was very clever because you believe that, you know, this is someone that's seeking revenge on a partner who cheated on him. So he's trying to frame her for murder. It's a bit far, but, you know, he's seeking revenge through a really wild way. That, like, you can buy that. And it's something that doesn't rarely happen, but, you know, serial killers and other things out there do wilder things. So you buy that. You know, he's seeking revenge. He didn't want to kill her. He just wanted to get her framed for a murder, and she go to jail, and he lives happily ever after, knowing that she's gone to jail and like punished for what she did to him. But I just can't buy that the story continues. Like, it just has to end. It had to end at season 1.
So I guess our bottom line: don't watch season 2.
Yeah, that would be my hot tip. Don't watch season 2.
Well, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review and the video. If you enjoyed this video, there's videos at the end. Hit the notification bell, like and subscribe. As always, you are awesome. Let the force be with you. Bye-bye.